Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we embark on a journey through the extraordinary lives of individuals who defied the norms and reshaped our understanding of human potential. Each story we share today is not just a tale of uniqueness, but a profound testament to courage, resilience, and the indomitable spirit that resides within us all. Prepare to be inspired, moved, and reminded of the incredible power of embracing who we are. Let's begin this unforgettable exploration together. Annie Jones Elliott was an American bearded lady born on July 14, 1865, in Virginia, and she lived until October 22, 1902. She joined P.T. Barnum's exhibit when she was just 9 months old, and her family received a salary of $150 per week. She was billed as the new infant Esau. By the age of 5, she had a mustache, sideburns, and a beard, earning her the nickname Bearded Girl. Around the age of 5, Jones began touring with Barnum's Greatest Show on Earth, performing in circus shows and dime museums. At 16, Jones married a sideshow barker named Richard Elliott. After 15 years, they divorced, and Jones later married William Donovan, who worked in the show's wardrobe department. They toured Europe together, but Donovan died a few years later, and Jones rejoined Barnum's circus. She passed away on October 22, 1902, at the age of 39. Chang Bunker and Eng Bunker were brothers of Chinese descent, born in Siam, now known as Thailand, and were brought to the United States in 1829. As they became known through freak shows in America and Europe, doctors examined them. After a decade of financial success, the twins stopped touring in 1839 and settled near Mount Airy, North Carolina. They became American citizens, purchased slaves, married local sisters, and fathered 21 children, many of whom accompanied them on tours. The families of Chang and Eng lived in separate homes, with the twins alternating between the two every 3 days. After the Civil War, they lost a portion of their wealth and their slaves. Eng died hours after Chang at the age of 62. An autopsy revealed that their livers were fused at the band connecting their sternums. Fannie Mills, known by her stage name Ohio Bigfoot Girl, was an English-American woman who gained fame as a sideshow attraction in dime museums during the 1880s. Mills suffered from a rare condition called Milroy disease, which caused her lower limbs to swell to enormous sizes. In 1885, she began exhibiting herself as the Ohio Girl with the world's largest feet at the Bowery Museum in New York. As a promotional gimmick, a dowry of $5,000 and a well-stocked farm were offered to any man willing to marry Mills. One attraction poster proclaimed, "Don't let 2 big feet stand between you and a fortune." Another advertisement stated, "The old woman who lived in a shoe would rent apartments if she resided in one of Miss Mills's shoes." Mills's health began to decline in 1892, forcing her to retire. She passed away on May 3, 1899, in Perkins, Erie, Ohio, at the age of 39. Felix Wehrle, also known as the Elastic Skin Man, was able to stretch his skin and bend his fingers back and forth in extraordinary ways. He could pull the skin on any part of his body, a talent resulting from his rare connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This condition causes the skin to become extremely flexible and elastic. Wehrle's remarkable abilities made him a popular performer in many Barnum and Bailey shows, captivating audiences with his unusual physical feats. Felix Wehrle's performances were not only limited to stretching his skin, but also included contortionist acts that demonstrated the extreme elasticity of his connective tissues. This unique condition was a significant draw for the sideshow circuit, and he often performed alongside other famous acts of the time. Despite the unusual nature of his condition, Wehrle used it to carve out a niche in the entertainment world, showcasing human diversity and the marvels of the human body. In 1884, he was approached by a showman named Sam Torr, who suggested that Merrick could be exhibited. Torr arranged for a group of men to manage Merrick, whom they called the Elephant Man. After touring the East Midlands, Merrick moved to London to be displayed in a penny gaff shop rented by showman Tom Norman. Merrick was presented at a meeting of the London Pathological Society by Dr. Frederick Treves, after which Norman's shop was shut down by the police. Merrick then joined Sam Roper's circus and toured Europe. In Belgium, Merrick was robbed by his road manager and abandoned in Brussels. Eventually, he made his way back to the London hospital, where he was allowed to stay for the rest of his life. Treves visited him daily, and the two developed a close friendship. Merrick was also visited by members of London society, including Princess Alexandra of Wales. Although the official cause of Merrick's death was asphyxia, Treves, who performed the autopsy, concluded that Merrick died from a dislocated neck. Isaac Sprague was born on May 21, 1841, in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. After feeling ill following a swim, he began to experience irreversible weight loss at the age of 12. Despite having a healthy appetite, this weight loss continued throughout his life. Historians have described his condition as extreme progressive muscular atrophy, which ultimately led to his death. In 1865, he received a job offer from a circus show, where he became known as the Living Skeleton, or the Original Thin Man. The circus manager, P.T. Barnum, hired Sprague to work in the American Museum Freak Show, paying him $80 a week for his services. When Barnum's museum burned down in 1868, Sprague managed to escape with his life. By the age of 44, he stood 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed only 43 pounds. His condition required him to constantly take in nutrition, and his health was so poor that he often carried a bottle of milk around his neck, sipping from it to keep himself upright and conscious. Isaac Sprague died in poverty from asphyxia on January 5, 1887, in Chicago, Illinois. Fedor Yevtushev, born in 1868 in St. Petersburg, Imperial Russia, suffered from the medical condition hypertrichosis. His father, Adrian, who also had hypertrichosis, performed in French circuses. In 1873, Adrian and his son appeared in European exhibitions as the wild man from the Kostroma forest. In 1884, an agent for P.T. Barnum hired them, and Fedor joined Barnum in America as Jojo the dog-faced boy. Barnum created a story about a hunter who tracked Fedor and his father to their cave in Kostroma and captured them. He described Adrian as a savage who could not be civilized and emphasized Fedor's resemblance to a dog, claiming that he would bark and growl when upset. In the show, Fedor was forced to perform these actions, and he succeeded. Fedor died of pneumonia on January 31, 1904, in Thessaloniki, which was then part of the Ottoman Empire. Frank Lentini was born on May 18, 1889 in Italy, into a family of 12 children. Due to complications in the womb, Frank was conjoined with his parasitic twin, carrying the twins' genital organ and one leg. Known among the public as the three-legged man, Frank had 16 toes because his third leg had 2 feet, and he also possessed 2 genital organs. While his father attributed Frank's condition to God's will. However, in their superstitious village, people saw Frank as a curse and considered him unlucky. Frank never gave up and learned to use his third leg. He could ride a bicycle, jump rope, ice skate, and play soccer. Frank developed his skills and set out from Italy to the United States, becoming a circus performer. His shows quickly became famous, and his third leg gave him a unique advantage. Touring from city to city, Frank became known as the King. Frank decided to use his fame for a good cause. He wrote his autobiography and sold it at his shows. In the book, he shared how he dealt with his challenges, providing hope to others. Frank Lentini passed away from lung failure on September 21, 1966. He continued performing shows until the end of his life, passing away at the age of 77. The twins were born on February 5, 1908, at 18 Riley Road, Brighton, England. Their mother was Kate Skinner, an unmarried barmaid. The sisters were conjoined at the hips and shared blood circulation, fused at the pelvis, but did not share major organs. They were known by various names, including the Siamese twins, the Hilton sisters, and the Brighton twins, or Brighton conjoined twins. The sisters performed with Bob Hope and Charlie Chaplin. In the early 1930s, upon the advice of Harry Houdini, they were legally emancipated after being professionally managed by their legal guardians for years. On January 4, 1969, the police were called to investigate when the twins failed to show up for work and could not be reached by phone. The twins were found dead in their home, victims of the Hong Kong flu. According to the autopsy, Daisy died first. Violet died 2 to 4 days later, without seeking any help. Lorello, born Martin Emmerling around 1886 in Germany, came to the United States in 1921, along with a handful of people with biological rarities from Europe. Lorello could turn his head 120 degrees. To achieve this, it is reported that he practiced turning his head for 3 years and had to dislocate various vertebrae. Being born with a slightly twisted spine may have also helped Lorello perform his flexibility act. On April 30th, 1931, Lorello was arrested by Baltimore police during a performance in a packed tent after his wife complained via telegram that he had abandoned her and their 2 sons. Reportedly, he was standing on a platform with his back and face toward the crowd when 2 officers confronted him. He turned his head to face them, winked at both, and was then taken into custody. Ella Harper, professionally known as the Camel Girl, was born with a rare orthopedic condition called congenital genu recurvatum, which caused her knees to bend backward. Her preference for walking on all fours led to her nickname. In 1886, she starred in W. H. Harris's Nickel Plate Circus, where she gained widespread media attention wherever the circus traveled. Harper earned a weekly salary of $200 for her performances. The money she earned from this role likely provided her with opportunities in life that she might not have had otherwise. Harper married a teacher named Robert Savely in 1905 and passed away at the age of 51 in 1921. She was buried in Spring Hill Cemetery in Nashville, Tennessee. Daijo, known for his radical body piercings, viewed these as an essential part of his esoteric performance. Daijo claimed that a deity used him to demonstrate to others that there was something better beyond materialism, which he believed only led to poverty and war. Although his sword-piercing skills are not widely documented, Daijo insisted that his invulnerability was proven in various ways. In an interview with Time magazine, he claimed that his invincibility was tested with burning irons, boiling water, and being struck twice on his head from half a meter away. However, his autopsy revealed no signs of any head injuries. On May 11, 1948, Daijo claimed to have been instructed by voices to swallow a steel needle. The needle was surgically removed on May 13, 1948. 10 days later, when de Groot picked up his wife from the airport, Daijo lay down on a bed and entered a trance-like state. De Groot's wife was disturbed by seeing someone lying as if dead and asked de Groot to check on Daijo's health. The coroner declared him dead after a day. It was reported that he died from an aortic rupture. Woolsey was born in Rabun County, Georgia in 1880. He had a rare congenital skeletal disorder known as Virchow-Seckel syndrome, which resulted in a very short stature, a small head, a beak-like nose, a narrow bird-like face, large eyes, a recessed jaw, large ears, and mild intellectual disability. Additionally, Woolsey was bald, toothless, and either completely blind or severely myopic. In the 1932 film Freaks, he played Bird Girl Coo alongside a cast of other sideshow performers of the time. A 1942 Billboard news summary reported that Woolsey was recovering at Coney Island Hospital after breaking his arm while descending stairs. He was hit by a car in the 1960s, but the exact time and circumstances of his death are unknown. Pignon was born in 1889. While working as a railroad worker in Texas, a large benign cyst or tumor on the top of Pignon's head was discovered by a sideshow organizer. The organizer prepared Pignon for the freak show and had a waxen fake face made to place over the growth, allowing the claim that Pignon had two heads. Some reports suggest it was made of silver and surgically placed under the skin. After a few years of touring, the circus manager paid to have the growth removed, and Pignon returned to Texas. There he hoped to live a happy life with a normal human body. But unfortunately, the situation was not as he had imagined. Pasquale Pignon passed away in 1929 at the age of 40. Alice Elizabeth Doherty, born in Minnesota, had approximately 2-inch long yellow hair all over her body. From the age of 2, she was exhibited by her family as a sideshow attraction. By the age of 5, her hair had grown to about 5 inches and eventually reached around 9 inches during her teenage years. Doherty was never interested in show business, but continued to perform to support her family while anxiously awaiting retirement. She retired from the entertainment industry in 1915 and passed away from bronchial pneumonia on June 13, 1933, in Dallas, Texas, at the age of 46. As we conclude our tribute to these extraordinary individuals today, let's take a moment to reflect on their extraordinary lives. Each one faced unique challenges and embraced their circumstances with incredible courage and grace. From Alice Doherty, who stepped up to support her family against her own will, to Pasquale Pignon, whose life was marked by both spectacle and a longing for normalcy. Their stories are a testament to the power of the human spirit. Fedor Jeftichou, who turned his rare condition into a symbol of resilience, Ella Harper, who faced her physical challenges with dignity, and Frank Lentini, who proudly celebrated his uniqueness. Each one's journey reminds us of how profound perseverance and self-acceptance can have. Thank you for joining us for this video, which explores the lives of these extraordinary individuals. We hope their stories continue to inspire and remind us of the extraordinary resilience within us all. Thank you.